That boiled my blood. I was fuming. Did he set out to test the limits of what he can do and what Nancy would Oh. Hi people, welcome back to the second channel where we talk about whatever the hell we want. You guys, I asked, you guys responded, and majority, if not everybody, said that they wanted me to do Love Island Never Lasts. What the Love Never Lies South Africa. So without further ado, make sure to leave a comment, like the video, and let's just get into it. Oh, quick note, the kids are still awake, so you will hear them. It is what it is. I've got children, you know now, so when you hear it, that's what it is. Guys, all that, everybody. I'm going to be commenting and judging hard on what they showed us in the show. This is not a personal comment on these individuals and their life outside of the show. I don't know them from Z. I didn't check their Instagrams. I don't know what's going on with them. I watched the show, waited for the reunion, and since then it's been going on in my mind. Once this is posted, we're moving on. So I am not attacking anybody. I am not attacking anybody personally. I am attacking the characters and the people on the show, just as it has been presented to us. So don't get your knickers in the twist, fighting for people who don't know you. And even if you know them, don't get your knickers in the twist fighting for them in the comment section, because it doesn't matter to me. I don't know them personally. I'm only commenting on the show. I just waited to watch the entire series and watch the reunion, and that's why I didn't want to do episode by episode, because it's not that deep for me. I'm a binge watcher, guys, so I'd rather do an entire season and do a recap than do episode by episode. This was not my first spin of Love Never Lies. I've been watching Love Never Lies since the Spanish versions. I watched the Polish version, I watched Sardinia, and they were the Polish one I didn't really like it. It was drama, but I wasn't really feeling it. The Sardinia one was good. I think between Love Never Lies and Deep Fake Love, I really liked the Spanish ones and the Sardinia one for Love Never Lies. So when this popped up, I knew I would watch it, and I already started it, but I wasn't feeling the drama, not because it wasn't good. The drama was good, don't get me wrong, but it was a little too produced, if that makes sense. And I think because I've seen the previous ones, I've seen the predecessors and the ones that came before it, and even though those ones were produced, there's just something about Spanish people and how heated that they get, that you just have no other choice but to lean into the drama and really absorb it for what they are giving us. That's why I like the Spanish shows, because they go from 0 to 600 in 2 seconds. It is fascinating, and I love witnessing it. But let's get to the South African one now. So Love Never Lies South Africa follows 6 diverse couples participating in an emotional experiment that tests their relationship through challenges and lie detection revelations. The 6 couples were Wilfred and Clayton, Kuda and Lynn, Naledi and Nikiwe, Tia and Pretty, Nancy and Bochale. I'm gonna call him B because sometimes they say it's Bochale, sometimes they say it's Bochale. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it, so rather than kill his name, let's just call him B. And then Munaka and Gunse. Munaka was my favorite person. I'm just gonna leave it out there right now. So right off the bat, even when I watched the first Love Never Lies, the Spanish one, I realized that the people that come on this thing should not be together. Honestly, none of them should be together. I think in one of the other ones, there was this one couple that set boundaries for themselves going into it. So even when it came time for, I would call them the bombshells, the distractions to come into the house and try and seduce them, they were respectful. They were actually as respectful as can be in this kind of scenario to their partners. So they were the only couple that I actually respected. I did a review on it. Maybe I'll tag it so you guys can go see for yourselves in case you don't want to go and watch the other ones all over again. But they were the only ones that respected the process and respected each other and the boundaries that they set. It was also kind of like in the Ultimatum France. I think it was France. There was this one couple that set boundaries. They were like, no kissing, no doing anything in bed or something like that. And they, for the most part, they respected it. I don't think the guy did all the way, which was what pissed the girl off. But for the most part, at least they set boundaries for themselves. but none of the couples should be in this. Should be together after this. It could never be me, but if I ever went on a show like this, please know that I am going there to win. I'm going to do what I must. I'm going to tell the truth, and I'm going to leave with that bag, because I know I'm not spending the rest of my life with whoever it is that I went in there with. There is no way. There is no way. It doesn't matter the amount of clout. If I'm going for clout, I'm going for single clout, because I can't. There's no way. Just the things that went down, no way. Things that always go down on shows like this, no way. But let's get into the couple. So let's start with Kuda and Lynn. Kuda and Lynn have been together, I think, on and off for 7 years, right? Yes. Kuda and Lynn are the ones that had 7 years. A 7-year relationship dynamic. Looking at them in their first intro, you know for sure that these people are not, they're not meant to be together. They need to just cut it off before they signed up, they should have just cut it off. So in fact, they were actually prime candidates to be on this show, because seeing them, I knew that they would not last. I just knew that they would not last. First of all, Kuda kind of seemed checked out from the relationship, and Lynn looked like she was the mother of the relationship just from first glance when they introduced us. And as time went by throughout the entire series, that's what came up. It definitely seemed like he was just calling it in, and she said that she was tired of being a mother. And it goes, again, they did cover this in the reunion as well. So by the reunion, it came up that they weren't together anymore, and some things still came. I think Lynn was still bitter about it, but here's the thing. You chose to stay in this relationship for 7 years on and off. So yeah, be bitter, but don't take it out on him. He said that he's been working on himself, and good for him. He cut his dreads, he did everything. He looked like he was actually putting in the work. We never know, right? People will say what they can, for minimal damage on international TV. But yeah, don't take it out on him, is what I was saying. She did seem a little bitter about it. I feel like she even said that. She seemed a little bitter about it, and I was like, go work on yourself. If you've dissolved the relationship, then it's dead and gone. Leave him where he is. You go deal with your own situation and work on yourself, The bombshells. So I'm calling them bombshells. They do this whole test their relationship thing where they split the couples into 2 houses, and they bring, bombshells for each of the houses to kind of test their relationship waters, see who will break, see who will, run mad or whatever it is. I will say for the bombshells, the first half of the bombshells, they were giving bombshells. They were giving, we're here, we're going to distract, we're going to seduce our way to the top, and we're living with these people. The second group of bombshells were giving emotional puppies. I'm not going to lie, it seemed like they were also mismatched. So terribly mismatched that they were more emotional statues than actual seductors and seductresses. If I'm being honest, please let me know in the comments if you guys saw the same thing. Because when they were bringing them out one by one, I was like, no, none of these people will be tempted by these bombs. They are emotional puppies here to just take on the beating. I wasn't feeling the second pair of bombshells. So I'm not really sure if they steamed out after the first pair. They put all their hopes and resources into like matching the first group of people to the half of the couples in the other house than they did the second group of people. But for Lynn's bombshell, Vizo, I only took notes of 2 bombshells, Vizo and Mia, and if you know, you know. But for Vizo, I did like the interactions between him and Lynn, and it seemed like there's a potential for things to develop on the outside for them. However, Kuda had lived with Vizo. Is it Vizo? I think it's Vizo. Kuda had lived with Vizo for a long time. So Kuda and Vizo were roommates going into this situation. And Kuda was all in arms about Vizo breaking bro code. Do I think that Vizo broke bro code? At first I said yes. But when the reunion came around and Vizo said he Kuda never even introduced Lynn to him as his girlfriend or anything like that, I was like, okay, we're talking gray area now. And even in the votes, I think only 2 people said that, or 2 or 3 people out of all the couples said that Vizo broke bro code. That couple I thought was dead they were dead on arrival, if I'm being honest. So I wasn't really as invested. But it is what it is. Moving on to Nalidi and Nikiwe. So I think Nalidi identified as a as a non-binary trans male. And also polyamorous, non-binary. Why can't I say the word? Polyamorous, non-binary, trans male. Now, this couple. Here's what I'm going to need all you polyamorous stans to do for me. Huh? You guys need to stand in your excellence and drive away polygamists. Because polygamists are not polyamorous people. If I'm being honest, there is a difference. In polyamory, there are rules. They are a set of rules and understanding that you and your partners all come into it together. Polygamy means you just want to fuck around. Because I wanted to know the difference between wanting to just cheat and wanting to have multiple partners. And I did not appreciate, not like I have a leg in the game. I did not appreciate the lady coming in and saying they are polyamorous when they know deep down that they're polygamist and they just want to sleep with multiple partners. That pissed me off. So I'm not saying you should personally go and attack them. That's not what I'm saying. But I think throughout the entirety of the show, they came to understand the difference and to understand that they are not polyamorous, they're just polygamists. So this was the main thing between Naledi and Nikiwe. Naledi wants Nikiwe to be a one partner kind of girl. But Naledi wants to fuck around and find out whenever they want. And I was like, how fair is that? This was me now talking to myself. I was like, how is that fair to anybody? How is that fair to anybody? And then whenever Nikiwe was never around, Naledi will be talking trash, talking about finances, talking about this stuff. When they brought up the finances thing, I was like, okay, so I guess Naledi is talking about the finances thing because they are like the breadwinner of the house. Only for them to ask the financial question and they are dependent on Nikiwe. I was like, what the actual fuck? That boiled my blood. I was fuming. And then come reunion, what are they? They're still together. Now, honestly, at that point, I was like, Nikiwe, you decide what you want to do. Because it even turns out that after the whole show, because this is a year after now for the reunion, Naledi had been, stepping out on Nikiwe and didn't even have the decency to talk to Nikiwe. Nikiwe had always said throughout the thing, I understand that you are polyamorous. Let's just call them polygamous now. I understand that you're polygamous. I just need the truth from you. And in a partner, isn't that all that you should ask for? This person has sat down and said, I understand that you have the need to date multiple people. Just let me know. Turns out that Naledi lied, didn't even tell Nikiwe. Nikiwe found out through, she said, the spirit of her ancestors or something like that. I guess it's just heightened intuition. Brought it up and like Naledi said, yeah. And they're still together. I was like, nah. Left to me, I won't take it. They, in the course of the entire series, only told two truths between themselves for all of their entire questions. And I was like, if that is not a tell in itself, what are we doing? I don't know. Some of these relationships were just so laughable in the context that, what are you guys doing? I just don't understand what it is. But then again, right now, the dating climate right now is tough. It's tough. So if you find something that you think you can, stomach for a bit, I guess I understand where people are coming from, staying in situations that are not either ideal or good for them mentally, to be honest. So it is what it is. All right, moving on to Clayton and Wilfred. Oh God, I wanted to just take Wilfred and put him in my pocket and just take care of this boy for the rest of my life. Wilfred, as soon as they came on the scene, Wilfred just, I could see his heart. He's the perfect definition of what I call a pure soul. And that soul was shining throughout this whole thing. So their own history, Clayton had cheated on Wilfred in the past and Wilfred had forgiven him. They even do a lie detector question asking Wilfred about the cheating incident. And it turns out that it's true. He really did forgive Clayton. I was like, God, For personally, cheating is it is a deal breaker for me. Cheating and lying. You do one of those two things and it's done. Even before I married my husband while we were dating, I would make sure that I said it multiple times. I was like, cheating and lying are deal breakers for me. I do not accept that in my life. No now, know the truth. Let's not have stories that touch the heart 5-10 years from now. So for me, it could never be me. Now, I am not judging anybody who has forgiven a cheater. I am not judging anybody who has taken back cheaters. Like, it is okay. Some people can change. It is fine. Don't take it personal because I said it's a deal breaker for me. We all have our personal preferences. So when they asked Wilfred about that question, and it truly came through that he had forgiven Clayton, I was like, Clayton, what are you doing? And then Clayton came up with all this, like, and it's not came up. Whenever they split the couples, it gives them the time to process and, you know, figure out the things that they think they're missing in their relationships and talk about the things that they can't necessarily talk about to their partners. But Clayton's thing was the fact that, what's his name? Wilfred always steals the spotlight. So I guess in order to shine a little more, Clayton does things, I guess, to stand out. And I really didn't understand where Clayton was coming from. I really didn't. Is Wilfred out there? Yes, he is. But Wilfred sparkles. Like, he doesn't steal any light. He does his own thing and he stands in his own excellence. That's what I saw. I'm not fond of loud people who always want to steal the spotlight. Gay or straight, it doesn't really matter to me. If you're doing the most, just be going. I ain't got time for that. But I didn't get that from Wilfred. So when Clayton was saying all those things, again, I don't know their personal life, but when Clayton was saying all those things, I judged Clayton. If I'm being honest, I judged him and I judged him hard. Yes, does Wilfred attract people to him? Yes, but I think that's just who he is. Even the way, like, he would dress, he looked cute throughout the entire thing. Wilfred, if you ever watch this, you are stunning. And that tie ensemble that he was wearing for the reunion, oh, the white dress that he wore for his reconnection, I loved Wilfred. Wilfred was second favorite on this, if I'm being honest. He was my second favorite. I didn't like the way Clayton did him, but I understood that, you know, for how their relationship kind of developed throughout this season, it was good for them. None of them cheated on each other, which was kind of nice. I mean, they did say some things and, you know, they insinuated some things here and there, but ultimately they stuck together by the end of it, and by the reunion, they were still together. They're not engaged. They were planning to get married. They're not engaged yet, but Clayton says he wants to have the wedding of his dreams and he wants to give Wilfred the wedding of their dreams. So they've moved in together, which is progress. And for them, I like their story arc in this. I think it went well. If I'm being honest, I think they did the things that they needed to test their relationships in the concept of the show without going overboard and disrespecting each other. And that's all you can ask for in a relationship. If you're going to stay together at the end of it, I thought that was good. Moving on to Munaka and Gonse. Now, these two were the ones that I thought maybe had the potential to actually make it on the outside of the show, because I was like, they're young, they're figuring it out, they can get it all out in the open now and start their relationship on a foundation which they choose for themselves. Munaka is wise beyond her years. I like the way she carried herself. I like the way she spoke. I like the way she handled situations, if I'm being honest. I like the way she embraced the journey, if I'm being honest. They both went through this whole thing without disrespecting each other, especially when it came to interacting with the bombshells. They did well. Gonse is absolutely cute, and he will be the life of the party in any situation you put him in. Unfortunately, he will be the life of the party in any situation you put him in, because he doesn't know how to shut it down. And always joking. I know it's a coping mechanism for him, because he just doesn't want to tap into that emotional side of himself and be down to earth. I know that's, you know, it's cool and all that, but over a long period of time, you just want to slap him. Now, where I think Munaka should maybe just pump the brakes, and if this is the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, like, acknowledge, is the fact that you have chosen. You know who this guy was. You know going in. He's a social media influencer. He's a content creator. He's surrounded by girls. He's surrounded by boys. He this is his life. This is what he does. You know this going in. So why not give him grace? That's my question. And again, it comes with age. She's also young, even though she's mature beyond her age. She's also young, and her maturity level at that point in time, I think, was just too high for Gonse. Is Gonse going to grow into a very fine man? Yes, if he chooses, he's going to be that bad. He's going to be the bad buddy. The bad bitch. He's going to keep doing that. Even as an adult, he's going to be, zaddy vibes. But his maturity will be based on him in the end. He's either going to choose to grow or he will remain Peter Pan forever. That's just it. So when they brought in both bombshells for them, like I said, it was respectful. What did I just say? It was respectable. Monaka did lean a little more into it because the guy that they brought for her was giving her, basically, he kind of showed her everything that she could probably have in a potential relationship. He prayed with her. He gave her a safe space to be herself. He was emotionally there for her, which are all the things that she's been looking for. And it kind of opened her eyes to the potential of the relationship. So I think even through that, she was hoping that maybe Gonse will rise to the, occasion of being the man that she wanted. But again, if you're young and you're in a relationship where the guy is not where you want him to be, but you see the potential of him being where he can be, just work on yourself and he will follow. I say this from experience. If you see potential, give them grace. Work on yourself. Stop trying to fix other people's pots when your own is dragging. That's all I'm saying. I did like Gonse and Monaka, but unfortunately, come reunion, they were not together anymore, and that was kind of sad considering that they won the show. Between them, they only told 2 lies. And they won the show. I was shocked. I actually wanted Clayton and Wilfred to win, if I'm being honest. I wanted them to win. I was hoping, and they were second, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So they weren't together anymore, and I was like, you know what? It's fine. At least you both know what you want from this situation. Monaka is already seeing somebody else, and Gonse is working on himself. That's what he said. He's working on himself. Moving on to Sia and Pretty. God. You ever just want to reach in and slap somebody? That was me with Pretty. I just can't stand this woman. How? Woo! Poor Sia. I feel for this man going through this whole thing. So Sia and Pretty, maybe I'll put in some clips of the kind of verbiage she uses for this guy. Maybe. I don't know if I will or not.
I feel like the girl is out of Sia's range.
What do you mean by out of his range?
I feel like she's a slave queen.
Okay.
Are you going to be able to maintain a woman with that kind of standard? At least I respect you enough to stay with you even when I know that you can't afford me.
But the emasculation, God have mercy. It's like she literally had him by the dick with a scissors on it, as anything you see. She's like, if you talk too much, see, I'm a snip. Nah, Pretty was terrible. Her only saving grace on this entire show is that I think she got to see herself in 4K. I really noticed how she speaks about Sia on a daily basis. She'll be telling this poor boy that you're not my type, but I stick here. I like handsome men. I like rich men. I like this man. And I'm like, you're saying this to his face. What are you saying? So you're literally telling him you're not handsome. You're not rich. Well, he knows he's not rich. But you're not tall. You're not this. You're not... Habba, please, women, men, stop. Don't do this. Let Pretty be the example and the experience that you need for your own life. The way she emasculated this guy, this poor boy. And then she would not listen. Even when the bombshell came and said, I don't like the way you talk. You're very aggressive. She didn't listen. She was fighting that one too. Fighting everybody. She would say, he cheated on me. He did this. They're saying... this thing, what's it called? The housemates will be telling her, he didn't cheat on you, he didn't cheat. There was one time she was talking to the mirror and fighting herself. I was like, Lila. But I think that was the clip that she saw and she was like, the things she said don't always actually come out the way they sound in her head. And I was like, yes, fix that. Because Sia was nothing if not devoted. This guy is a simp for her. I'm not even going to lie. He is whipped for this girl. He loves her through and through. Even when he had the temptation of his bombshell, who was really gorgeous. If I'm being honest, I don't think that girl liked him. I think she was there for clout and she wanted to stay as long as possible. even with that temptation, he still wanted Pretty. Pretty was the only one. Come reunion, they are still together, and she's still saying stuff like, he's not my type, but I like him. And I'm like, have you learned nothing? It doesn't matter. They seemed happy, and I really don't want to stay on this too much because I can't stand Pretty. I'm sorry, I just can't stand her. I really can't. She's the kind of woman that I would easily cut out of my life without blinking, because I don't want that kind of energy around me. But they seemed happy. He met her mother, so things are, progressing nicely. And she seemed a little more toned down than she was on the show. So I think there's a lot of growth that has happened there and is happening, which is all I can ask for them. And I think things will work out very well between them. And now the last couple. I saved them for last. Like, if you know, you know. Let's talk about Nancy and Bohale. B, because I don't think I'm pronouncing his name right. Now, this couple. Let's just start with how beautiful is Nancy? How gorgeous is this woman? She reminds me of, was it Rita in The Ultimatum South Africa? The one that slept with somebody else on the show and got outed on the show by the guy. I can't remember if that's her name. Dark-skinned, gorgeous girl. Yes, she reminds me of her for some reason. Not that they look alike or anything, but I think the way she carries herself reminds me of that girl. So, Nancy and Bohale, Nancy and B, I think he was the one that brought them to The Ultimatum. And honestly, at first glance, she was the only one that I saw. I didn't really care. I didn't notice him or care about him, if I'm being honest. And then as the show progressed and you see him interacting with his bombshell, Mia, and the way things were going and the way the words that he speaks, he ended up sleeping with his bombshell. He was the only one on the show who had sex with somebody other than his partner. And it happens. In Love Never Lies, it happens. I've seen it multiple times. However, it was how he reacted on the other side that really caught my attention. Because like I said, if you've forgiven a cheater, that's fine. If you've taken back cheating people, that is fine. That is you. But what kind of attitude did they have on the other side of the cheating scandal is my question. Because a remorseless cheater is a cheater that will keep on cheating on you. And B is a remorseless cheater. So after the whole lie detector question where they asked him if he slept with somebody, because I think that's how she found out, and he said yes, I started listening to what this guy was saying in his interviews, and whenever he would talk, he was so pretentious. My eyes would roll to the back of my head and then roll back into the right direction. He was so freaking pretentious. God, I could not stand him. Here, let me read some of the things. This is not even the worst one. So verbatim, I went to the beach so I could connect more intensely and more organically with myself and my gods. I won't let a situation that I have done or something like that determine who I am moving on in my life. And I was like, huh? The last one that took the cake is, I wouldn't want Nancy to lose me because of one really stupid thing that I did. Hey, God. If the intense dislike and distrust for this guy throughout this show, I couldn't stand him whenever he was on my screen. I get it. You made a mistake. You slept with somebody. Fine. But what are you saying on the back end? Honestly, all the apologies, all the talk, it was rubbish. The crying, it was rubbish. This man came on this show, premeditated this thing. He came on this show to have sex with girls, which blows my mind. First of all, don't cheat. But if you're going to cheat, why do it so publicly? Did he set out to internationally disgrace Nancy? Did he set out to test the limits of what he can do and what Nancy would that is what he did. He wanted to test the limits of how far he can go in his relationship. Wow. That is crazy, because Nancy forgave him. She forgave him when they did their reconnect, and she kind of just took it in stride, like, oh, she kind of gives me the vibe that she's one of these people where my man can play outside, but as long as he comes back to me, I'm fine. I've literally heard somebody say, we're not friends anymore. I think that statement was the deal breaker for me. But literally somebody I know personally said, my man can go and have his fun. As long as he comes back home to me, I'm fine. And I was like, yeah, we can't be friends. I don't know you. I don't want you. I don't want you in my life. I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you no more. Ooh, that shocked me. That shocked me. But I think Nancy is one of those people. Wow. Interesting. So, everything kind of comes out, during the show. She forgives him. Come the reunion, I was hoping, fingers crossed, teeth crossed, eyes crossed. I was like, do not stay with this lying, cheating bastard. But they're still together. And even worse, guys. Even worse. Well, good for the baby, but God, the situation. They have a kid. She already gave birth to his child. They are not married yet, but no, that's neither here or there in this day and age. They have a child. Bringing me to, what's it called? Love is Blind. Was it Sweden? I think it was Sweden. Where that guy trapped that good prayer girl in a relationship. I think they're still together. It boggles my mind how some people make choices. But then again, it's the law of the unfamiliar. Or no, the fear of the unfamiliar. And staying in a situation that you know is not good for you. Just because it is familiar, you know this person. And, you don't want to know what's happening on the other side of it. Because why did she stay with this man? Because in the reunion, it comes out. They bring Mia out. And Mia spills the tea and she spills it hard, man. Turns out that he lied about everything that he was talking about. Turns out there was more sexual acts involved. Turns out that he had sex without protection. Oh my God. I don't understand. I really don't understand how Nancy stayed with this guy. Because what, are you telling me that he's not been doing this then? Are you telling me it was a one and done? No way. I think this man is consistently cheating on her. And whether it comes out or not, it's her choice. She's made it and it is what it is, But wow. Nah, I was like, and she even acknowledges it. She says that she knows that people are saying that she's dumb for staying with him. And it's like, yeah, I agree. You're dumb for staying with him. However, it is your choice. It is your life. It's the way, what's her name, is staying, Tyler, and the other girl from Love Island, USA, the recent season, the one that he has how many babies with his lesbian ex-best friend or something, whatever. You choose. I don't know where I was going with that. You choose the situations that you allow in your life, and you choose where you want to stay. Nancy has chosen. We all just have to respect it and move forward. It's not our life, not our problem, not our circus, not our monkeys. Yeah. So that was kind of the whole thing. They wrapped up the reunion, and it was wrapped up in a nice bow. I did like the interactions in the reunion, how everybody was piping in here and there. It wasn't judgmental, and there was no judgment in it. You could tell that there was a divide. I don't think Nancy is friends with anybody outside of her couple, which is interesting and also honestly expected, because in the kind of situation she is in, she wouldn't want her friends telling her how she needs to leave. She's definitely happy where she is, so she would cut off all other connections, except the ones that are telling her, no, it's all good. But everybody else has like their dynamic. Everybody has, couples that they've been together with and everything like that. So I thought that the reunion was good. It was interesting. I liked the host, or the hostess, Mimi, I think was her name. I think it was Mimi, right? I don't know. I think it was Mimi. She was cute. I liked her. And my favorite thing about the whole South African shows is the accents. Their accents, I love it. If I'm being honest, I used to watch Generations growing up just for the accents. I used to watch Generations when I had no business watching Generations. But the accent always got me. I was like, yes, the way they roll their R's, I love it. So that was like one of my favorite things watching this. But overall, it was a good one. I feel like it will get a second season. I hope that it will be a little less produced than this. Most times you just need to put the knife there and the drama will create itself, and that's what I want. I want it to be a little more organic, even though I know they are still produced in the long run. They should work on the editing. That should be the production side of things. Let the editing do the work, but for the drama itself, just let it unfold the way it's meant to. When you put people in a pressure pot situation like this, you don't need to do much. It will steer itself. But other than that, I enjoyed the series overall. You guys chose this over Later Daters, and I'm not surprised. Later Daters was cool and all, but there was literally no drama on there. And it's older couples dating. Not a lot of people are interested in that. But yeah, let me know in the comments. I don't know who was your favorite. Like I said, Monaka and Wilfred were mine. But yeah, that's my review. Sure to leave your comments, like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Toodles!